everybody. It's Diane Brandon Moody again. I'm back with Fiftysomething Love, the podcast for all things of interest to women over 50. Thank you for being here. Thanks for listening. Today, we're going to do another brief coaching with a good friend, and we're going to see how this goes. Remember, we drop Wednesdays at midnight. And please do me a favor, subscribe, follow, leave a review, and let me know if there's something you'd like to discuss on the podcast. I am a dating coach for singles over 50. So if this world is pretty baffling for you, I gotcha. As I've said here before, I got married for the first time at 58. So I finally learned how to navigate the world and develop my own plan. And just started meeting people out in the real world as well as dating online. So if you want my 50 ways to meet people over 50, feel free to download the guide at dianebrandonmoody.com. So with that, I am delighted to be speaking to my friend Tihesha. And how are you doing today, lady? What's going on?
Hi, I'm doing pretty well. It's just a relaxed Friday.
Oh, that's great to hear. So, is there anything in particular I can help you with?
Yeah. So, Diane, I very much would love to be in a great relationship.
Mm-hmm.
One of the issues is, of course, I'm over 50, but I do have two young children at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure, how men might respond to that. And, how soon do I bring my kids into the discussion?
Okay, great. Have you had any men actually give you feedback on that? Have you asked anybody? Has anybody said anything specifically?
No.
Okay. So I was curious about this as well. So I asked on your behalf to a very large Facebook group I'm in, anonymously, of course. I didn't use your name or anything. There are 85,000 people in there, probably more women than men. But I was surprised and actually quite pleased to see that several men said it wouldn't bother them a bit, that if they liked the woman enough, if they loved the woman enough, the kids wouldn't be a problem. There were some that said, I'm afraid that would be a deal breaker for me because I've raised my kids. My kids are grown up and out of the house, and I'm ready to spend time on myself. That's not a big surprise, nor it is a bad thing. But I was actually more surprised at the amount of guys that said, no, it's not a problem. What do you think of that?
That's great to know.
Yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised. Since I was obviously not giving them a name or a location or anything identifying, I just said the kids were younger and still at home, and how would that affect your interest in the woman? And I probably got 50 responses, I think, from men. I didn't count, but somewhere around 50. And I would say it was about 40% saying it wouldn't bother them, and about 60% saying they're done with child raising. But I thought 40% was a great number.
Yeah, I do too. It's very encouraging.
Yeah. So it was kind of random. So how old are the kids?
10 and 6.
Yeah. So how is your time? How do you fill your time with activities with the 10 and 6-year-olds? Like, what kind of things do you do?
Well, we love to bike ride. I really like kayaking. They grudgingly come along with me.
They don't love kayaking.
So, uh, and we go to like water parks and areas where they can have fun. So that's the other thing. A lot of my time is spent in kid-friendly places, and I don't really see a lot of single men there. I see
Yeah.
men families there.
Yeah. That's hmm. I guess that's not a real surprise if they don't have if they're single and they don't have small kids, but they're open to a woman having small kids. I guess it wouldn't be a huge surprise that they're not there.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I don't have kids, so this is new to me. That's great. So what kind of activities do they enjoy besides that? Anything else?
Mm, well, um, my youngest son, has a very engineering focused mind. So he loves building models and Legos and things like that. My older son is very artistically minded. So, he loves singing and performing and those kinds of things.
Oh, how much fun.
Yeah.
So, do you ever get time to do things for you?
Well, I can, but of course that means I have to get a babysitter, which I'm not opposed to doing. The kids actually love when I have someone sitting for them. But yeah, so I have to get a babysitter and then I can go out on my own.
What kind of things do you like to do on your own?
Well, I'm quite a foodie, so I like exploring new restaurants. Um, let's see, what else do I like to do on my own? Well, I'm a big reader, so very few places make me happy as Barnes and Nobles.
But yeah, I dig that too. I love Barnes and Nobles.
Maybe that's
That's
something
cool.
to do. Hang out in Barnes and Nobles at the little cafe.
That would be a great idea. That's a great place to possibly meet single guys. That
Yeah.
would be a great place. What would you do if you saw one from across the room?
Well, thanks to you, I have been practicing my smile.
Great. I love that. And you
Yeah.
know why we do that? It's just for the audience. I'll let the audience know. I've said this before, but um, a lot of men these days say that they get the message it's not cool to approach a woman on her own anymore. They feel like women don't appreciate that. I would think that could be true of some women, and it probably isn't true of a lot of women, but that is the feedback that they feel like they get. So what we do is we give them what I call a clear runway. And a clear runway means that that means they could come approach you and say hello or ask your name or buy you a cup of coffee or something like that. And by giving them a smile, that's one way they know it's okay to do that. So have you tried it?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it feel when you try it?
Hmm. It does feel a little forced. And, it actually allowed me to recognize that I usually don't do that, right? I'm usually focused on whatever I'm doing or wherever I'm going, not really looking around. So it's certainly different for me to be looking around and making eye contact with men and smiling. But it's nice when they smile back.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think we tend to be very focused on what we're doing or our phones or whatever task is at hand. And it's really nice to come into the present moment and just look around and see who's there and smile. If you feel confident, you could even take it a step further and flirt a little bit. How does that sound?
Mm. Now that's a muscle I have not exercised in a long time.
I I bet you were really good at it at one time.
Yeah, I think I was.
How did you flirt with people when you flirted?
Mm, yeah, well, I think most of my flirting was usually done through a conversation because
Hmm.
kind of, sassy and fun, and I might like make a little comment that will get a response going. So that's usually how I would do it.
Well, that sounds like fun. I was kind of missing my flirting days. Last Sunday, I was at Kroger at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I saw about 10 guys wandering around Kroger. No wedding rings. For all appearances, it looked like they were single. And I thought, dang, if I was single right now, I would be flirting with every single one of them. of course, of course I'm not, so I don't. But the thought did cross my mind that like where are all the single women I know? Like why aren't they here right this minute? Because these guys seem to be nice, they seem to be smiley, they seem to be, you know, doing their grocery thing. And I thought, what a perfect place for single people, single women, if they would just be here and give those guys a big old smile. I bet it would be appreciated.
Yeah.
Do you ever see single men in the grocery store?
Yes. Come to think of it, actually, I do.
So here's your next assignment. Smile at them. And then I have one step further. Ask them a question.
Okay.
It can be anything from like if there's something in their cart like a steak, how would you fix that steak? Or do you know the best barbecue sauce? Or something along the lines of something they have in their cart. What would you eat with the steak? Something like that. That is not a come on in any shape or form. It's not an invitation to something further other than just a gentle conversation. And so that would be an assignment if you're willing to accept it is next time you're there, if you see one of those guys and they're not wearing a wedding ring, then try something like that.
Okay. That sounds like fun.
Doesn't it? It sounds like a lot of fun. Now, I when I posted that in the large group I'm in, a whole bunch of people jumped on really quickly to tell me, well, not every married man wears a ring. Well, of course not, but that is really not your problem. If a guy is married and he's not wearing a wedding ring, of course you don't need to continue flirting with him. But by societal standards, most married men wear wedding rings. So if you happen to smile at or flirt with the wrong guy, then it's kind of on him to say thanks, or he just doesn't engage or something like that. And it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It just means he's really not available for whatever reason. So don't take it personally if it doesn't go anywhere at some point. It may be that he's just really not available in whatever reason.
Okay.
You think you can handle that?
I,
Great. Awesome. Well, I have a few rapid fire questions for you. Are you game?
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay. Where is your favorite place to travel?
Ooh, I would say Europe.
Oh, any particular place?
Mm, I've I've been to France, Italy, Spain, um, England. I just anywhere I'm pretty good. But I do
Good.
love
Yeah,
France.
cool. I want to go too. What keeps you up at night?
Hmm. Um, I guess, worrying about my kids' issues sometimes. Um, like recently, my one son has gone into a gifted school, and my other son wants to go, but I don't think it's the right situation for him. So, thinking about how do I approach this with him to let him understand he's gifted in his own way, but it's different.
Oh, that sounds like a wonderful way to put it right there. That's great. What's your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
That's that seems to be number one on the list for everybody. Who's your celebrity crush?
Obama.
Ooh, I don't blame you for that one at all. What's your favorite food?
Hmm. Interesting. I love a ribeye steak.
Ooh, that's my husband's specialty. He's really good at that. What's your guilty pleasure?
uh, I'd say books. Around my house, there are just piles and piles of books. They've overrun all the bookcases and they're just everywhere.
Oh, I love me some books. That's great. Another good reason for Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
So, to summarize, our assignment is to just take the flirting up a notch, smile, and then maybe ask them a question at the guys you meet, whether it's at Barnes and Noble or at the grocery store. So, thank you for being here with us today. I appreciate that.
Thank
Um, Thank you. It was great to talk to you. Check out my site, dianebrandonmoody.com, for that free guide on 50 places to meet singles over 50 if you think you can handle smiling at a cute guy at the grocery store or at a Barnes and Noble. So get that list. There's a lot of places. Thank you, Tihesha, for being here. And join us again next week on 50-something Love. Remember to subscribe, leave a review, send in suggestions of people you'd like to hear from or topics you'd like discussed. I'm Diane Brandon Moody, and go drink some champagne for no reason at all. See you next time.